Just like in India, generally the Brahmins are expected to be the spiritual master. Because Brahmin means who have sufficient knowledge in the transcendental science. That is Brahman. Brahma janati iti Brahma. Now, due to this modern age, Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to find out a qualified Brahmin. So therefore, it is very difficult also to find out a qualified spiritual master. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has recommended that kiba Shudra, kiba Vipra, Nasikane not, Jai Krishna Tattva-vetta Sai Guru Har. Never mind whether he is a Brahmin or a Shudra or a sannyasi or a householder, never mind what he is, that doesn't matter. If he knows the science of Krishna, then he is the bona fide spiritual master. He is the bona fide spiritual master. So here, this Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna. Every one of you, if you study Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly, with all your arguments, with all your sense, with all your philosophical knowledge, because it is said here, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena, not that you have to submit yourself blindly, although your spiritual master may be self-realized and experienced in the absolute truth, still you have to question. You have to understand from him all critical points by your intelligent questions. That is allowed. So, it doesn't matter if anyone is able to answer about the science of Krishna, he is spiritual master. He is spiritual master. It doesn't matter where he is born or what he is, whether he is a Brahmin or a Shudra or an American or an Indian or whatever he is, never mind. Just like it is practical. When you go to a doctor, medical practitioner, you do not ask, well, doctor, are you American, are you Indian, are you Brahmin, are you Jew, are you Christian? No. Oh, he has got the qualification of a medical man, so you surrender. Oh, doctor, treat me, I am suffering. So there is no question. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given liberal that anyone who knows the spiritual science and the Krishna science is spiritual science. Because Krishna is the ultimate goal of spiritual science. When I speak of Krishna, you must remember that I am speaking of God. There are millions of names of God in different parts of the world, but Krishna is the supreme name according to Vedic knowledge. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended, and his recommendation is accepted by the authorities even at the present moment. Kiba Shudra, Kiba Vipra, Nasikane Noy, Jai Krishna Tattva-vetta Sai Guru Har. And you will be surprised that Lord Chaitanya's principal disciples were all so-called fallen in the society. He appointed one Haridas Thakur, Namacharya Haridas Thakur. This Haridas Thakur was a Mohammedan. He happened to take his birth in a Mohammedan family. But he became a follower of Chaitanya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after training him, he gave him the highest post of his spiritual mission. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to introduce this system of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, chanting of the holy name of God, and he appointed this Haridas Thakur, who happened to be a Mohammedan, but he became so much enlightened that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appointed him the supreme minister of administering this Hare Krishna, Hare. He was made the authority, Namacharya. Acharya means the prime minister, the authority. So, there are other 6 important and direct disciples, just like Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Now these gentlemen were formerly known as Shakar Mallik and Davir Khan. Davir Khan, that was the Mohammedan period. India was being governed by that time by the Pathans, and in Bengal there was a Pathan ruler whose name was Nawab Hussain Shah. But these gentlemen, Shakar Mallik and Davir Khan, they were appointed minister in the service, on the governmental service of Nawab Hussain Shah. And in those days, the Hindus were so strict that anyone accepting the service, especially the Brahmins, if a Brahmin accepts the service of anyone, especially who is not a Hindu, he is at once extricated from the society. So these 2 gentlemen, Shakar Mallik, they changed their name also. They were actually Brahmins, very intelligent, learned, they are very good scholars in Persian language and Sanskrit language, they are very good scholars. But because they engaged themselves in the service of the Mohammedan ruler, or they were, extricated from the society, Brahmin society. So Chaitanya, they also followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they were made the best authorities in this science of Krishna science. Later on they became the Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So there is no bar for anyone that one cannot become the spiritual master. Everyone can become spiritual master, provided he knows the science of Krishna. That is the only qualification. That is a very reasonable. If you do not know the subject matter, how can you be a teacher? A teacher means he knows the thing, he knows the science. The only qualification of the spiritual master, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Kiva Shudra Kiva Vipra Nasikane Noy, Jai Krishna Tattva. Anyone who knows the science of Krishna, this is science of Krishna, this is Bhagavad Gita. If anyone knows perfectly, then he becomes the spiritual master. And there is need of spiritual master at the present moment. We require thousands of spiritual masters to preach all over the world the science of Krishna. The science of Krishna. That will solve all problems of the world. Take it from me.